and welcome back to another episode of International Immersion, a podcast that seeks to explore international aspects relating to people, culture, and places. So, as always, we start with introductions. So today we have your host, Sean, and we have a special guest, Jamie. So today's episode, we're going to talk about Buddhism. And Jamie, who's dialing in all the way from China, because she can't come here because of the events with coronavirus, is going to talk to us about Buddhism and the methods and ideas that she has about it. So Jamie, we're really happy to have you today, and perhaps you could just introduce yourself to us.
Hello everyone, my name is Jamie. I'm from Hangzhou, China. I'm Buddhist. Okay, Sean, what do you want to ask me?
So Jamie, we know you're a Buddhist, and almost everyone knows a little bit about Buddhism. They may learn it in school, they may learn it on watching a documentary, or just random information. So I think it's important to kind of set the groundwork and talk a little bit about the basics of Buddhism. Can you explain, just the basic idea or the basic approach that Buddhists pursue?
Well, first of all, Buddhism, most of people, they have the impression of Buddhism that either it's a religion or philosophy. Actually, it's not a religion, but it's more close to philosophy. But what Buddhism represents is the truth of the universe. The universe course, how everything works, actually. It's not like Christian, and it's not like other religions, because every religion, they have a creator of the whole world. But Buddhism, we don't think like, it's not a we. It's just it's not anyone create the whole world. It's gradually accumulated by a lot of stuff, and with the cause and the conditions, it turns into different phase of the world or time, whatever like that.
Okay, so I think that's a really important point. Yeah, I think that's a very important point you bring up, is that Buddhism is not a standard religion or a religion in the way most people understand what religion is. It's more of a philosophy, way of life, and it has some different main points than some of the other major world religions like Christianity, Judaism, Islam, etc. So now that we've kind of...
Also, it's education, actually. And when it first start in India, it's always the education of how people do things, how people behave, how people become better person, how people should be, like that. It's education. But just because the time goes by, and at the end of dynasty, Qing dynasty, and they cut that education off, and turn that into a religion that, like, people know right now.
I see. Now, can you explain, when did the Qing dynasty end and this started to change?
I think it's from that time. 慈禧太后, that queen, listened to the politics, like manipulate her son, 慈禧太后. Do you know that?
Oh yes, the Dowager Emperor and the last Emperor of China, Puyi. That was around the Qing dynasty ended around 1911, if I remember correctly. So it would have been at the turn of the 20th century, roughly speaking.
Empress Dao.
The Dowager Empress. Yeah, we get what you're saying, Jamie. Yes. Yeah, she was very famous for what she did and her character traits. And I think her son, Emperor Pui, was the last emperor who was overthrown when China became a republic.
That's not his son. Her son. Her son is Guangxu. It's not Pui.
Well, she was one of the last empress or dowager emperors of the Qing dynasty, if I'm correct? Because what you're saying is that that with the end of the Qing dynasty and the change from the dynastic period to the modern period, that upset and changed a lot of the cultural and societal aspects in China.
It's just that period of time. I don't know which time exactly, but it's in the end of Qing dynasty.
Yeah,
because Buddhism has been palace in the king group in their royal family, and for thousands of years since they brought the Buddhism to China, they always use Buddhism to educate their family and educate. They use Buddhism to run the whole country, manage the whole country.
I see. Okay, that's quite interesting to see.
Dynasty, they change into religion, then everything just got screwed up because no one studies the real Buddhism anymore.
So you're saying that since its inception in China, and especially more recently, it's become much more like less pure or less the intentional form that it was meant to be.
It's more like superstitious.
Superstition. Yes, superstition.
Yeah, a lot of people, they treat it like superstition, but it's not actually. The real one, still some people, they are study some real ones, but it's really not that much, not that many people doing that. What I see from most of people, they believe is like if you bow to them, if you or honor them with different things, flowers or different things or money, whatever, and you pray to them, they will make your wish come true. Actually, it doesn't work that way. Buddhists cannot be bribed.
So you're saying that the way they go about practicing is they think if they pray or leave offerings, they will get something in return, like more direct.
Something in return, not trade. Yeah, it's not trade. So they understand that incorrectly.
I mean,
shouldn't do that way.
I mean, almost every religion has kind of like a give and take. You know, the person will worship or pray in return for a number of things, whether it be salvation, good luck, fortune, other things. And I can see that Buddhism has that relationship too, but it's not meant to be like literal or direct like other things. Correct?
It's not that. No. It's like Buddhism would only give you reasonable things, but they would only help you to get the reasonable things. It's not they give you; you get yourself.
I see. So in a way, instead of praying to them to get something, you should just learn from them so you can become a better person and achieve things on your own by following the teachings and following their examples. They said.
Yeah, it's all about karma, cause and effect. If you're being good, what you wish would come true if it's reasonable.
And I think that's one thing that almost everybody is aware of is karma. Good karma, bad karma. What you do has a consequence or has a something. They say what comes around goes around. You do something bad, that will come back around and get you too. In some, maybe not now or even a long time, but eventually it will in some way or form.
Yeah, most of people, they only focus on this life. They think if karma is true, I did something good, I could get something good, but it's not worked like that. Sometimes, because in Buddhism, we don't have only one life. Your this life you're living right now, you have different lives. In the past, you have different identity. Then after you die, you rebirth in a different person or different thing. By thing, I mean maybe you turn into animal. Maybe you go into different paths. That would bring out 6 paths of the whole life circle in Buddhism. We have 6 paths after you die. After you die, and if you want, then next life you wouldn't be a person again for certain. That depends on what do you do this life and your past lives.
I see. So basically it depends on your actions, what you do, and how you go about life will affect what you'll be in the next life. Yeah, karma. So basically karma affects whether you will, in a way, if you're a human now, you might become an animal, you might become something else. I also can imagine if you do more negative things or more bad things, you would maybe be reborn in a lesser form.
Hell.
Yeah, okay, that's putting it pretty bluntly.
Do you need to know what 6 pathway after you die? What 6 forms after you die in Buddhism theory?
By all means, please tell us.
Well, we have Buddhism has 6 pathway after you die, 6 ways, 6 forms after you die. 3 good forms and 3 bad forms. 3 good forms is like first form is you become God. You go into heaven, and there's not just only one God. There are different gods in different level of heavens.
Okay.
Yeah, different levels have heaven. That is one form. You become God. That has to be really, really good karma you have done. And the second good one is you become human being. Actually, human being is quite a good form compared to other forms. And there is another good form is it's a type of God. They have like a magical ability like gods, but they are not as higher level, but they are higher than human beings. Because human beings, we are limited. We don't have like supernatural power or whatever, but those type of forms, they have that, but they are not as powerful as gods. So it's like in between human beings and gods. So these 3 ones, they are good ones, and there are 3 bad ones. One is hell. Everyone knows that. One is hell, and one is 恶鬼. One is animals, different animals, insects.
Okay, so you could say very lower forms of life.
And the other one is the other one, and the last one is last bad one is ghosts. You can understand that as ghosts. It's kind of a spirit, but they are always hungry. They're always hungry, but they cannot eat.
So you could say they're like seeking something.
Yeah, you're always suffering with hunger. This type of ghosts.
So in a way, they're like in a continuous torment or continuous torture for their actions they did in their past life. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun.
But that's still better than people in hell. And hell has different layers. The worst one is the 无间地狱, we call that. 无间地狱 is really, really bad. Which the queen I told you, who cut off the Buddhism, who cut off the Buddhism education, that queen is in the deepest hell.
Based on her actions, according to Buddhism, she would be sent to the lowest level of hell.
Actually, she is there, and she come up to the earth and possess someone, and that person said that.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, you. I think everyone has some like people got possessed by ghosts or by spirits.
Oh, every culture, every place, every society has stories like that. I mean, ghost stories, spirits, etc.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's really
Actually,
interesting.
it's a fact.
So basically, you have three negatives and three positives, and each one is kind of like in an order. Okay, so that's interesting to learn. So that's kind of more like the basics of where you may go based on what you do in your current life or what you've done in your past lives. So we all know that the main icon in Buddhism is the Buddha, or we say in English Siddhartha Gautama, and in Chinese, what do you call him?
For we don't have just one Buddha. We have millions, billions of Buddha, different type of Buddha. That's why we're different. We're not a religion because we don't have just one Buddha. We have different Buddhas.
I gotcha. Can you explain a little bit about why there are so many different Buddhas?
Why? You ask me why? That's really, really professional question. Different Buddha. It looks like different Buddha in charge of different things. But eventually, they can merge into one Buddha. There's no difference between different Buddhas, but it represents that way that every Buddha has their own way to teach people. That's all. That's all because of us. We are different, right? We're human beings, but we're different. Some people we have different features of ourselves. Some people, they teach them that way, would be easier for them to accept. So Buddha would turn into the certain Buddha to teach them. They would be more acceptable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's like teacher. You teach students. You according to different students, you use different method. So it's like we send different Buddha to different people.
No, that makes complete sense.
Different. They need different things. Yeah.
So in many ways, the Buddha manifests in all these different forms in order to get his message out to all the different types of people that want to listen and follow in his teachings.
Yeah, but there's no the top of the Buddha. Every Buddha is equal.
Okay, so that's really there's a equality amongst all of them, and they're just more manifestations of one that can come across in different ways to reach different kinds of people, and in a way, he basically creates his own style based on what the people can understand and how they understand things.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they don't know other things apart from what they're good at.
Oh, for sure. But it makes sense. Just like, people learn different things and people learn in different ways. That makes complete sense. Okay. That's a really interesting factor you bring up there, and thinking about that. And it's a very, there's a lot of diversity, but also how the teachings and how Buddha, he kind of molds to whoever he teaches to best teach them and let them understand. That's really neat. That's kind of a neat thing that I think anyone can find some interest and something that they can appreciate. So kind of going back a little bit now. So we know you're a Buddhist, but and that was kind of a cliche question, but so when you became Buddhist, was it because of your family, or was it because more of your own intentions?
Oh, my family is not Buddhists, but they kind of, it's like they wouldn't not believe them. They believe a little bit, but just not that devoted, not that invested, or they don't learn deeper things like that. I think they understand Buddhism is just like other people. in a superstition.
Superstitious way.
Yeah, in that way. But so I think they kind of influenced me, but because they took me to different temples when I was really young, so I would bow to them. I'm influenced by my family, but when I was really young, I didn't have a correct way to understand that. It's just like my family, and after when I growing older, and I just meet different people that got a contact with Buddhism, and they tell me stories and tell me things. I just become very interested in Buddhism, and I think what really brings me into this practice is I got my anxiety problem when 2015. Yeah, 2015, I think. And I got my physical condition. I have a certain physical condition, and just I have a coworker. She is practicing Buddhism in the Pure Land sect, and I learned a lot from her, and she gives me some resources that I need to read, and I actually understand more about things. And every time when I go to temple, it's not just from that time. Since I was really young, every time when I went to a temple, it just gave me a really peaceful feeling. No matter how many people in the temple, even it's very crowded, but I still feel peace there. So I have the connection to it. I think it's from my past lives. I was a Buddhist from my past lives. That's why I can have connection of this. And gradually, from different people, I learn more and more and more, and eventually I get into Buddhism, and I become a Buddhist and start to practice. And I know that when I was in grad school, I went to medical school. I did a lot of animal experiment, and I killed a lot of animals. So a lot of problem I'm suffering, I think it's because of what those lives I've killed. So that's why I gradually become a vegan. I don't eat meat anymore. It's not about nutrition. It's just that I don't want to kill any more animals.
I see. So you're trying to maybe atone for things that you've done that you think are bad, and you're trying to become a better person by using Buddhism. And going back to your family, they weren't like, you can't say they're practicing Buddhist, but they did give you a basic foundation of understanding about it, which you then carried on and went even further.
Yeah, it's like everyone should make amends of what they did in the past.
Oh, I totally agree with you.
Now.
Unfortunately, I don't think nearly enough people try to do that.
Yeah, and even you're a really brilliant person in this life, you cannot be sure that you never killed in your past lives. Everyone has killed people. They just don't remember. It's from their past lives. So I'm sure I have killed a lot more than what I remember. So I need to stop eating meat, stop killing, make other lives to be killed. So I become vegan. It's my choice. But I wouldn't ask everyone to be like that, just because people don't accept that. People like to eat meat. Just people don't accept that right now. So I wouldn't persuade people to do that. I would just tell them how it is. But if you accept it or not, if you want to do that or not, it's your choice.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's up to the individual of what he or she will do. So, in many ways, you can kind of relate it to, how do I say it? just you're trying to accumulate the less or the fewest amount of negative things to influence your future lives, you could say.
Yeah, and my purpose and my eventual goal is become Buddha after I die. Because I cannot become Buddha right now, but if I practice enough, if I chant Buddha's name enough, that I can eventually become Buddha, then I can come back just to help people. After I finish this life, I become Buddha, I can come back to help people. Because my ability right now is very, very limited, because I'm a human being and I have no power. So I cannot help a lot of people. I can only help a little bit. But if I become Buddha, I have much more ability than a lot right now. So I can help more people, be more useful.
Well, as they say, do what you can and help those who you can with what abilities and resources you have. It's the effort that counts, I think. Okay, so you've really kind of gone into more of your rationale and your methodology. So now another question is, how do you practice, like on a day-to-day basis or on a weekly basis? So what's your, how do you go about this, dear?
Well, Buddhism has different sects, but actually for nowadays people, which sect suits people right now is Pure Land sect. It's the easiest way, and it's the most effective way for people to practice, for people to get the results eventually accomplished. It's Pure Land sect.
Yeah, because most people know there's several types of Buddhism. Mahayana Buddhism is one that's quite well known.
No, it's not type of Buddhism. It's just a sect, different sect. Some people they practice to get supernatural power, to see things from past and future, whatever. And some people, they practice to go into a different space to see other things or whatever. Just different sects, they have different you get different ability. But for the Pure Land sect is like because everyone study Buddhism, their goal would be becoming a Buddhist. It's not like, I get first in this life and they don't care about next lives, because you don't know where you're gonna go after you die this life, because they have 6 pathway to go. But anyway you go, you would be still in that circle. Even you become God can die, just a matter of time. It's just longer than human beings, much longer than human beings. So to human beings, God's life is eternity. Is that a word?
Eternal. Mm-hmm.
Endless. But it's not. There will be an end. So after they die, they would become other things, other forms. So you're always in this circle, and you're always going to suffer. You can never actually accomplish. So people who study Buddhism, their purpose should be becoming a Buddha after you die. And the sect of Pure Land is that after you die, you go to Pure Land. So you're already out of the birth circle of 6 pathway. You become Buddha. So that's the sect that you should take. Not you should take, just fits nowadays people. Because people nowadays is really how to say that? It's not like a bad, just people.
You could maybe say that in this day and age, people are becoming further astray, or they're venturing further away from what maybe they should be doing, or good things, or there's more selfishness, more less caring for those around them.
Yeah, they care about what's not that important, like money. I never feel money is very important. Yeah, you need to live with money because you need to buy food, keep you survive, but that's it. But people just pursue more than they should.
People are becoming too materialistic. Too materialistic and too selfish, you could say.
Yeah, so this sect would fit people most because it's the easiest, but it still require you to be qualified to go to Pure Land. It's not if you chant Buddha, but you still do a lot of bad things. If you chant Amitabha Buddha, you still do a lot of bad things. You cannot go to Pure Land. They give you the easiest way. You just need to chant Amitabha Buddha because he is the one create the Pure Land and save people right now. But only good people live there. If you keep doing bad things, you're going to have bad karma. You're going to go to hell. So how can he save you? So he give you the best way. He give you the easiest way. Just chant his name. That's it. But you have to be a good person. You have to do good things. You have to follow the five restriction and 10 kindness, like that.
Okay. So going back to what you were saying. So how do you personally practice or go about doing the things that you do to improve yourself? Like maybe you could say what you do on a daily basis or weekly, monthly, whatever.
What I do is very basic, and because I'm very busy, so I didn't have a lot of time to do that. But I do have time to chant Buddha's name, Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha Buddha is the one I just said. He created the Pure Land. So you just need to chant his name, Namo Amitabha Buddha, Namo Amitabha Buddha, just repeatedly. Then you can clear your mind and do a lot of benefits to you. And it's the basic condition to go there. So I chant that a lot. I just actually I don't do enough. I should. I just chant 30 minutes every day. I just chant 30 minutes every day of his name and bow to him by according to his 48 wishes at night and make some confession and reflection of what I did. And yes, I don't know how to describe it.
No, that's pretty self-explanatory. So I mean, you do those things, and then do you go to Buddhist temples, or do you go out or visit any sacred places for Buddhism?
I go to Buddhist temple a lot, but not because I want to get something. I just want to be there. I just want to be there because it's peaceful there. And when I'm close to Buddha, I just feel like I like to be there. Very peaceful, and it's good for my anxiety.
So in many cases, you can say that actually gives you more peace and tranquility by going there because of the atmosphere and the surroundings in a way. So that makes total sense. Practice. And then when you do go, do you bow or do other things too, or chant?
I bow. They have said some. They have ceremonies in certain days. So I would do something. I would have one card. I would go apply some cards. I don't know how to say that. Let me check.
Because I know that many people they'll buy incense and they'll burn the incense and they'll bow with the incense in different directions and then they'll put the incense in like a big urn.
Incense, yeah, it's just a form of sincerity. You just be respectful. Then you burn that incense, and when they host ceremonies, I would just apply some memorial tablets.
Memorial tablets.
yeah, memorial tablets. I would write my people who like my dad family's name on it, and I put it on the wall of the temple or the people I have heard in my past lives that even I don't remember, but I would write them down, so they would get benefits on the ceremony.
So basically, you're trying to provide benefits for both, family members who have passed on, and for any people that you may have hurt or affected in this life or previous lives. So you could say it's a form of atonement. I atone for what I've done, like in Christianity, atonement for their sins, or forgiveness for their sins. So it's a way to benefit those people.
Make amends. I want them to be in a better life instead of what I hurt them. Why I hurt them? They hold on to it. They are suffering too. So I want them to let go too. Not because I want to release my pain. Oh, it's part of that too. But I want them to be actually saved.
So it goes back to
what I've done.
So it goes back to what you were saying about trying to make amends and have good karma, and no, that's really good, and I think that's a very healthy and positive approach to that. And you're trying to provide benefits to others, and at the same time become a better person. So overall, a very good and I think noble goal. So one last thing I want to talk about today with you is, what do you want people to understand about Buddhism? Because I think a lot of people, they may know a bit about it, as we've stated, but they may not know enough, or they have a lot of misconceptions about Buddhism. So what can you tell everyone, or give some key points that people should know about Buddhism to help them at least understand what it is versus what it's not?
Well, just don't do most of people do that. You ask for something and bribe them. It's not gonna work. If you get your wish come true, that means you're supposed to have that in your life anyways. You're meant to have that in your life anyways. So just don't you don't need to bow for things that you want, like fortune, like kids, like a husband. You don't need to bow for them, but you can actually ask them to help, to show you a way how to get them. They will give you signs if you're sincere enough, if you're observant enough. They will give you signs. And actually, if you don't bow to them, it's also okay, as long as you do good things. And their good things is really strict. Like drinking is not a good thing. You cannot do that. But how Buddhism define good thing and bad things. Good things is anything benefits to others. Bad things is anything that benefits to yourself. So do more good to people. That's it.
So basically, it's do more good to others. So the basic message is the same. It's do more good to others, and treat others as you would treat yourself, and if not, even better.
Just think about other people all the time. Don't think about yourself.
No,
I don't think most people would do that, because people are very, very selfish right now.
Well,
they always think, I want to use my life.
Well, given what you see on social media and other things, it's pretty obvious that people are becoming more and more selfish these days. I mean, there's still a lot of people who are not, who are very, giving, very open, and very understanding. But I think at the same time, there is an increasing number of selfishness.
Purely good enough. No one is not selfish. It's just a matter of how much.
Exactly. And there are those who are very selfish, some that are in the middle, and some who are on the lower end of being selfish. But yeah, everyone's selfish in some way, shape, or form, because we're human.
Yeah, just try to reduce it.
No, I think that's really important, and I think self-reflection, as you were explaining a little earlier, is so important. Yeah. And that so few people do it enough. It's one thing, you don't need to self-reflect every minute of every day, but you do need to at least do reflection on what you do and how that affects others.
You need to do it. You need to do it every day. And we have a famous saying in Chinese. In Chinese, is 五日三省吾身. It's like one day you need to reflect 3 times about what you do. You need to reflect every day, and 3 times every day. What you did wrong, what you should improve. You need to reflect every day. That's why I read a reflection art passages every day after I bow to Buddha. I just want to correct the wrongs. Everyone should do that. Everyone should do self-reflection. That's at least they can do. Even they are not Buddhist. They are not Buddhist. It's fine. Self-reflect, you can do.
Yeah, you're completely right. It doesn't matter what faith, religion, or philosophy you follow. Self-reflection is, unanimous in that. So is there anything else before we? Is there anything else before we conclude today's episode? Is there anything else that you want to mention or bring up about Buddhism that you think everyone would find interesting or beneficial?
I think. Look, Buddhism is originated from India, but it's not actually there anymore, because the group they moved to the Tibet. Some people, they want to kill the family, and they moved to Tibet, and they are hiding Tibet. So there's some Buddhism left in Tibet, and when in very early age, people got a lot of sutras from India and bring the Buddhism to the China mainland. So I think if anyone wants to know more about Buddhism or to feel that and to actually experience that, I think people can come to China to the temples and just experience that, the peace of mind. And Lingyin Temple is a really good way. And I think the city of Hangzhou is very good because it's influenced by Buddhism a lot. A lot of famous masters were there. So actually, I think that city is very good for people who are interested in Buddhism. They can go there.
Well, that's great information to know for everyone who's listening to this, because I myself have been to Hangzhou and have lived in Hangzhou for several years, and Lingyin Temple, as you mentioned, is an amazing temple complex. It's got some absolutely stunning statues, and the temple buildings are absolutely beautiful, and they're sculpted in extremely beautiful detail. So anyone who wants to experience that should definitely, if they go to China and more specifically go to Hangzhou, they should definitely check out Lingyin Temple. And there are also many other temples in Hangzhou you can go to that are smaller, but in many cases just as magnificent or interesting.
Well, I forgot the essential parts of Buddhism, how you study Buddhism.
Oh, I
forgot the essential part. That's the most important one. Sorry. That's sutras, because every theory comes from sutras. It's like textbook of Buddhism. So if you want to learn Buddhism, you need to find different sutras. I have 3 sutras that I can. Actually, there's the most important one, and there's another one that's easier for people to study Buddhism. Is Amitabha. You check the English name. I think they have English version.
What's the Chinese name?
Read the English version. 阿弥陀经.
阿弥陀经.
佛说阿弥陀经.
佛说阿弥陀经. Okay.
And then there's another one, 无量寿经. 无量寿经 is the one I read a lot. That's the one who would help you to go to Pure Land, because it tells you how the Pure Land accumulated.
I see. So you, in a way, you can use these sutras as a guide to help yourself to do better things and how to prepare yourself to be a better person.
How to understand Buddhism more.
Okay, that's good to know. So if anyone's interested in learning more, they should definitely check out these. I'm sure there are translated versions in English and many other languages that people can find and they can delve more deeply into the teachings of Buddhism through the sutras, and in particular the three you've mentioned.
Yeah, if anyone wants to know more about, if anyone wants to know the exact sutras, they can just contact me. Then I'll tell them what sutras they can read.
Well, we really appreciate that, Jamie. So we're about out of time for today, so we just want to thank you very much for talking to us today about Buddhism, kind of giving your personal take on it and the key elements that you use and what you've learned and that what define Buddhism. So, we really appreciate it. We've learned a lot, and I know I've learned a few things tonight, and we'd love to have you again on another episode talking about this or other things. So, as we always do, as our tradition for International Immersion, we always say goodbye in our native and the languages we know. So, until next time, this is Sean. Goodbye. Zaijian.
Okay, bye-bye, everyone. We can do more details about every certain things of Buddhism.
Alrighty. Thank you all for listening, and as always, if you have thoughts, comments, suggestions, or things you want to learn more about, please send us feedback, and we'll gladly look at it, and it will influence our further episodes. Thank you, and until next time.